What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm going to be taking questions and answers. I'm going to have a question and answer today. A little more laid back today. I'm just recovering from being sick. But I've put some very controversial interviews out on Nino's Corner.tv. One being obviously David Icke that I felt like I was able to show it on FluffTube because it goes against, I mean, even though he's hot, he's red hot, he's radioactive, David Icke, but I felt like I could risk it a little bit with that one. Maybe I'll take it down later. I don't know. But I have another interview up right now, or podcast up with Jeff Shepard, who did a podcast with Elon Musk's nanny. And it's very revealing to me. Look, folks, I'm not saying, I'm going to leave it up to you all to decide on who you believe Elon Musk is, but there's a lot of things transpiring right now that are raising a lot of red flags for me. And I keep going back to the dark to light, same hand controlling both. First and foremost, let me disclose to you guys, be very transparent in this. I am very happy Donald Trump won. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm very happy Donald Trump won the election. I did not see a future for humanity with Kamala Harris or Biden or the direction they wanted to take us. But I kind of feel, and I'm not going to lie about this, I'm going to be honest because that's what I do. I got in the ring and I used to wear my emotions on my sleeve and I fought with all my heart and I did what I had to do. And I'm just going to be honest. I kind of feel like everything's following a script right now. Even if this goes nuclear, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I push out what you would call fear, PORN, whatever. I don't even want to say it on here, but to get you all amped up and wake you guys up on what's happening. But after all the interviews I've done, everything I've done, thousands and thousands and thousands of these interviews, I've come to my own conclusions. And I think there's a certain group of people, elites, whatever, that are following Bible prophecy like a script, and obviously others following their own manual, Luciferian doctrine, as a script, both connecting. And these people are sick psychopaths. These people that are running this planet are sick. But I also feel there's another group manipulating the narrative to their side. And I'm still a Trump supporter. I've backed him this entire time, but I'm very leery about some people he has around him. Jeff Shepard came on and talked on a podcast with me, and it's up on Nino's Corner.tv right now. It's epic. How he interviewed Elon's nanny, and there were some very dark, disturbing things that came to surface. And I don't know. Is he not like the modern day, I don't know, Bruce Wayne or Iron Man to you, the poster boy for all things benefiting humanity? How does one man have that much time to do anything? Folks, I'm taking care of two sick parents right now and trying to squeeze in a podcast. And I'm a very busy guy. I still try to find a way to work out. I still do things like that, but it's not adding up to me. Neuralink, Tesla, SpaceX, firing off rockets to the moon, to Mars. Now you decide who you want, what you want to believe, but I'm just saying that I'm doing some very controversial podcasts right now that may not agree with a lot of you, and that's okay because I do my own thing and I'm going to deliver truth and transparency wherever it leads. And I think we have to watch all bases. We have to watch the entire chessboard right now. I am not against Trump, so none of you better even think that. I'm just leery of the people he has behind him. The whole alien card is coming, and we all know that. But folks, let me take this moment to just knock out this quick commercial. I'm going to use this time to do this as well. It's called TonyProtein.com, and nobody likes getting older. I sure don't. In fact, I dread it. One of the biggest reasons why is because our muscles become weaker, making the activities we used to enjoy more difficult to do so and less enjoyable. But what if you didn't have to get weaker as you get older? Just bear with me, folks. What if you could actually become stronger? Celebrity fitness trainer Tony Horton says he's found a way to turn the impossible into a reality, his reality, which he is now using to help thousands of Americans remain healthy and active as they hit middle age and beyond. It's actually a lot simpler than you might think, Horton, who is 66, told us. It's a method anyone can do that takes about 1 or 2 minutes a day, and within a very short period of time, you can start feeling stronger and probably healthier than you ever have in years. Hold on, folks. I'm almost there. Just bear with me. Almost everyone begins experiencing some degree of age-related muscle loss starting between ages 40 to 50. That's very true. It's perfectly natural and nothing to worry about. However, it can make it harder to exercise or even perform routine activities that you take for granted, like playing with your kids, pets, or even carrying groceries. And folks, as we get older, the right type of protein is very crucial on what your muscles absorb. I like to inject amino acids. I actually give myself shots of amino acids, and I take this protein right here because it is the best protein on the market that I have found. On average, people lose about 0.5% to 1% of muscle mass each year. Well, that may sound minor. It can add up to over the years and decades. Increased frailty is a big reason why elderly people are more prone to falling down, which can lead to prolonged bed rest or hospital stays, which can mean even more muscle loss and what becomes a vicious downward spiral. Health experts have long believed age-related muscle loss is simply an inevitable aspect of getting older, and it's not. It's not. But Tony Horton has found a much more effective way to help you fight age-related muscle loss and even build new muscles. Folks, I take this product. I love it. It's the only protein I drink. I put it in my coffee. I drink it 2 to 3 times a day when I miss a meal. It's tonyprotein.com/Nino. It's down there at the link below. Click on it, get started, and start your journey on building your muscles back. It just needs the right kind of protein. That's all. Now, let's get back to what I was talking about here, which is the very controversial podcast I've been having. And what made me want to do this question and answer, and I'm going to, you think Elon Musk is a good guy? He's genuine. I've never met the guy. I can't make that kind of assumption, but I will say that there's a lot of red flags for me, and a lot of these podcasts that I've done, I'm watching like a hawk. And a lot of things don't add up, folks. They just don't add up for me. And I know they're getting ready to play the alien card. But who will bring in the alien agenda? Who's going to be the one that kicks this off? Right? That's what I've been thinking about and worrying about. And I know I'm not worried about it. Let's just say that I expect it to come. See, this whole nuclear situation that's developing with Russia right now is about certain people wanting to go scorched earth so that they can, and this is true, and I've talked to Juanito about this, and I've talked to many guests about this, so they can destroy the whole system that they created and basically destroyed. Now that system's coming after them, they want to just scorch earth and destroy everything. Destroy the whole system that they brought in. That's now working, that's going to start working against them. So what better way to do that than to start World War III? And while starting World War III, and by means of depopulation or whatever direction they're trying to go here, which obviously we know that's it. This is a big part of it, by the way. Bring in the alien card. Now, how would they bring in the alien card? Well, I was talking to L.A. Marzulli today, and they sent me this, and it's Vivek Ramaswamy. Ahead of the House Oversight Committee's UFO hearing today, I'm calling on the committee members to publicly ask witnesses the following 7 questions. We can handle the truth. Has the U.S. government become aware of actual evidence of extraterrestrial or otherwise unexplained forms of intelligence? If so, when did this occur? When did this first occur? What are the names and titles of the people with direct firsthand knowledge and access of the crash retrieval programs? Which facilities, military bases house and recovered material? What special access programs cover this information, and how is it possible that they evaded oversight for so long? When did these programs begin, and who authorized them? What level of security clearance is required to fully access these programs with Dr. Kirkpatrick and AARC or AARO, seemingly unaware, and David Grush being denied access. Title 10 and Title 50 authorization are apparently insufficient. So, folks, I know that I'm going to be very unpopular with some of my podcasts, but I don't care. I don't care. In fact, I know a lot of my podcasts are going to be off-putting to a lot of others who are mainstream and may not want to come on my show because, well, gee, I don't know. I'm trying to be the best version of myself going into this new endeavor, podcasting, that I can be, and I really don't give a fuck about who agrees with me and who doesn't. I'm basically trying to do this because I think the most valuable thing is truth. And I think that just like my boxing career, I put it all on the line and I went out there and fought my ass off for between myself and my love of spirit and of God. I always made the sign of the cross when I got in the ring and I knelt down. And I guess, folks, a lot of you may not believe in what I believe in, and I'm not here to Bible beat anybody over the head with anything. I'm not here to be the Bible beater. That's not what I'm here to do. If you believe in aliens, good for you. That's fine. But I don't think we should neglect the fact that this has been prophesized. And this could be the biggest deception ever played on mankind. And that's what we should be paying attention to. So excuse me if I start looking at things that I'm like, that doesn't add up. That sounds too good to be true. The big playboy, Elon Musk, the big playboy, Vivek Ramaswamy teaming up, bringing UFO disclosure. Who's going to bring the UFO disclosure? Elon? Is he going to be the one that makes contact? I don't know. I'm also going to bring 𝗬𝗃𝗏 on to discuss this. I know a lot of you like 𝗬𝗃𝗏𝗏. And don't get me wrong. I am so happy Trump won this victory. I really feel now we have a future, but is it the Kamala way was like the dystopian nightmare, a very bleak, depressing New World Order type of situation for me, which I'm happy we dodged like a bullet. But are these people so clever that they use others to fulfill the same agenda? That's all I'm asking. And I'm sorry if some of my podcasts, I've got a lot of email, and that's another reason why I'm doing this. Emails on, you don't agree with my podcast. That's fine. You're not supposed to agree with every guest and podcast I put out there. If you don't like it, if you're triggered by it, turn it off and go to the next one, because I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I'm going into this guns blazing and my heart on my sleeve, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to question everybody and everything because I know what they're trying to do in the very end. I know the end of this means alien card. Okay, I know that's the grand deception that's coming, and I'm going to be looking at all as the best I can, all areas of the chessboard, every part of it for my audience, and that's what I plan to do. And I'm not against Trump. I'm for Trump. Let me just make that disclaimer. I'm for Trump, but I'm leery about certain people. I don't know. One of them being Jared Kushner, another one being Elon, one being Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, all part of the WEF crew. I don't know. I love RFK, and I know what I say is going to be unpopular. I know what I say is going to be unpopular, but I'm not trying to be popular. I had my 15 minutes of fame in boxing. I had a fucking awesome career. I believe I was the best boxer at the time. I just never got my title shot, and nobody will ever take that away from me. I have more knockouts than anybody, and I got and towards the end, it was kind of a sweet ending. I got knocked out myself, and it ended my career. And I felt humility, and I felt a lot of turmoil and torment in my soul. I never thought in a million years I'd be doing podcasting. This is the last thing I thought I'd be doing. I never knew you could open up a computer and invite people into your living room and discuss issues and topics, and then I could grow from this, which I have, because it's been completely organic. I never put a pen to paper and planned any of this. This has been 1,000% organic. And I got a lot of people writing me saying that, you're part of this, or do you have a handler or that handler? I don't have any fucking handlers. I have no handlers. I don't give a shit. Juan is not my handler. Juan's a friend. I just think he has credible intel. Thank you for the super chat. I think Juan has credible intel. I think he's been over the target a number of times, maybe missed here and there, but I don't think he's wrong on a lot of things, kind of like right now, where we have this window of a couple months where they're trying to start World War III or whatever he calls it, World War IV. I think it's a very critical time right now. And with that, what would piggyback? So, from my understanding, what would piggyback off a nuclear scare? It'd be who owns the day after that. So, would the white hats own it or the black hats? How would the black hats own it? Well, I don't know. Maybe it comes to fruition and there really is a nuclear exchange, which would be terrible because that'd be the end of humanity. Or they introduce saviors to come down and help out humanity, which would be aliens. Or are they demonic entities? That's up to you to decide. Or does the nuclear scare go back to its safety, and which Juanito has talked about many times. And when I say safety, we all know that safety is Mr. T, who, according to Juan, allegedly is commander-in-chief, allegedly. Then he would come in and then he'd be able to clean house the proper way, which I've always thought, well, that makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me because that would be the only way you can really clean house the way you need to without being stopped every which direction with lawfare. So I'm going to take some questions and answer. I'm going to answer some questions right now from you. I'm going to look at the chat right here. But before I do that, folks, you really need to get your, yes, you do, stop the pain. And it even stops emotional pain. Get Canoladine. If you're suffering from daily aches and pains, please listen carefully. And it's down there in the link below, folks. I take this every day. I really like this stuff. Top medical experts have unveiled a natural pain reliever that is changing the way Americans fight pain. 100% drug-free Canoladine. Canoladine is the only solution in the world that optimizes your body's natural painkillers called endorphins, providing full body relief and without the dangerous pills or known side effects. Over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes, including UFC fighters, have already embraced Canoladine's pain relief power. Best of all, Canoladine is legal worldwide, certified drug-free, and does not cause side effects, grogginess, or addiction, and I can attest for that. After 14 years of clinical research, it has been proven safe and effective, backed by thousands of successful use cases from other Americans just like you. Best of all, if you try it today, it's less than $1 a day. This is your opportunity to finally live pain-free, and you just put the dropper under your tongue, folks. Go to trycono.com/Nino, trycono.com/Nino. Get started on it. I would say quit your pain pills and all that first. And then start implementing this, and that's what I've been doing. I've been going through a lot recently, folks. My dad was rushed to the hospital again last night. I was up all night in the hospital with him, till about 1 a.m, and I had to come home and try to get some sleep. He's been having seizures. I don't want to go too far into my personal stuff, but my family, we're really in the weeds right now, and my dad's going to be 90. My dad's going to be 90 in December. And so I just want to get him there. So my mom has dementia. My dad has seizures. And you know what I think it is? It's this. I told him not to do it. That was blue in the face. But whatever. Everyone just says, oh, well, they're older. That's what happens to old people. I don't know about that. But yeah, fire truck and ambulance showed up last night real late. And so that's what I'm dealing. So if I miss shows here and there, just understand that I'm dealing with a lot. And then also, if the shows are unpopular to you, because I'm getting a lot of emails, how dare you go against Trump? I'm not going against Trump. I love Trump. I mean, I hope to meet the man. I've already met Don Jr., and I really like Don Jr. He's a very nice guy. Steve Bannon, all of them are very nice guys. They're real patriots, but I'm looking at the bigger picture here. That's all I'm saying. And when I see someone like Jared, and there's just certain prophecies that I see playing out, that these people, it adds up. They check the boxes. They just check the boxes. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to take some questions because I promised to do that. What happened to old people? What if they trained us to believe? Okay, get your father And my dad is so, I'm telling you folks, I get him the nicotine patch. I know I tried to do that and he takes it off. I don't like this shit. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, and no matter what I try to do, they just tell me to go fuck myself. So that's basically Jared Kushner. That's who Jared is. Look up Jared Kushner. His real estate address is 666 Fifth Avenue, I think it is, in New York somewhere. I thought Jared and Ivanka were on the outside. Now, see, a lot of the stuff I say is not very popular within my camp either, in the Patriot community. But I'm not trying to be popular. I'm who I am. I do what I do because I don't know. I'm the lone wolf. I am Sancho. Has your dad try vaping? Try vaping. I don't think I want to try him. I don't think I want to get him to do that. We need to watch our backs. I agree with you. You should take some time off and spend with folks. I would take time off, but let me just tell you this. You all keep my mind, just like I would escape into boxing, because boxing training would just shut off my crazy mind and I'd get immersed in the gym. Well, I can't do that anymore due to my back surgeries. A lot of people ask me, why'd you retire from boxing? I am going to tell you right now, I don't care who says different. I believe I was the best fighter out there. I had the best hook. I had the most powerful punches. I have 25 first-round fucking knockouts. You can go look at my record. And the only thing that took me out of boxing was not the losses. It was not the knife to the face. It was back surgery. You get back surgery, an L4, L5, S1 surgery, and by the way, my whole back was calcifying on itself. You get that, and you get old instantly overnight. It's not something that takes a few weeks. You're old overnight. It's over. In fact, when I knocked out, I think his name was Manuel, I can't remember his fucking name, Dominguez. I knocked him out in the first round on my comeback fight, and as I was running to the neutral corner, I knew it was over. I knew right there it was over. And you better believe that, I felt my ass, my legs go numb. And I said, this is not, I knew I won. Obviously, I won the fight. The guy was knocked out on the canvas. But however I torqued or whatever I did, threw out my back. And there was already a lot of damage there. And that was it. That was the end of my career. God wanted me out of boxing for whatever reason. And that's what happened. And I've never been able to go back. And that's why it's so agonizing for me, someone like me, who is an undefeated prospect, to watch someone like Jake Paul or Logan Paul piss all over the sport, watch people commentate on fighting when they know nothing, absolutely fucking zero about the sport whatsoever. And it's hard. It's hard for me because I kind of feel like I missed my mark, but God wanted me to do other things. And I guess it might be this, but I'll tell you what this is for me. What this is for me, watching from Ireland. Wow, that's pretty cool. What this is for me is an outlet, is my new outlet that I can no longer box anymore. This is my outlet. You all are my family, and that's why I come on here every day. You guys think like why don't you take a break? Well, what if I can't take a break? What if taking a break means I have to get consumed with my crazy mind again and I can't relax? I don't know how to relax. I've never relaxed in my entire life. It was either boxing, drinking, women. It was one impulsive decision after another. I was a slave to my impulses. I don't, once an addict, you're always an addict. And I've quit drinking. So if I take a break from podcasting, could I go back to drinking? I don't know. I had an urge last night. I wanted to go and just hit the bar. It's like, how many times can I see my parents get rushed to the hospital? It's happening like every other week now. And it's been the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. So yeah, I'm coming on here to me is like my only therapy. You guys are like my AA. I don't go to AA. This is my AA. I felt the urge today to come on here and talk to you all because I don't know. I watch YouTube videos here and there about people that get clean and the challenges that they go through, and I don't know. I'm going to be sober 5 years next month. next month, 5 years. I really didn't realize how much of my social life revolved around drinking. Everything. And it led to other vices, sexual behaviors, and it got it worse. It was getting worse. It was getting worse. It was getting worse. Cocaine. I don't know. I'm you know. Wow. Melbourne. Wow, Melbourne. I've been to Australia. I used to have a best friend lived. I used to have a best friend that lives in Australia. He got thrown in prison, but for smuggling massive amounts of drugs into the country. But he was my best friend. I haven't talked to him in like 13 years. Why didn't Scott Bennett take ivermectin for his cancer? I don't know. You know, the last days of Scott Bennett, I didn't really talk to him much. I just got word that he was sick, that he fell ill. Juanito told me he was ill, and I talked to Scott Bennett through text, and he was just very standoffish, very distant. But, you know, I said I would tell the story at some point. I guess I'll tell the story right now. And it kind of happened the same way with Scott Bennett. The night before Scott Bennett died, I knew he was going to die. So somebody called and told me he was, like a divine, it felt like it was divine to me. And I'll tell you why. Because before Scott Bennett died, I knew he was going to die. And I've even thought it in my mind. I go, okay, he's on do not resuscitate. He's in the hospital. Someone who just visited him in the hospital called me in confidence and told me that he was in the hospital on do not resuscitate. And I said, okay. And I called Juan, and me and Juan talked about it for a while. And I just said, I felt like he's going to die probably by tomorrow. And sure as shit, the next morning, 8:30 a.m., he passed away. And I said a prayer, and I did what I had to do. And but the little bit that I knew Scott Bennett, man, he was a true patriot, a true man. He really put his balls out there. He was boots on the ground. He was actually going to Ukraine, Russia, really trying to do big things for humanity, get the truth out there. Now, a lot of people are saying that it was a hit, this and that. I don't know if he was exposed to certain things in Ukraine and Russia. I don't know. I heard he was. So there's that. I heard he was exposed to certain things out there, chemicals, agents, whatever it was, that he had pancreatic cancer and it kind of spread into his liver. That's all I know. And it kind of makes sense. You guys remember he was pushing that product, destroy-cancer.com. He was so adamant about that. And it makes me wonder, was he battling this much longer? And he had a lot of confidence in that product, and maybe he wasn't doing all the things he should have. What doctors wanted him to do, I don't know. But I said I was going to tell the story about my sister. My sister, Patrice, was very sick for a very long time with cirrhosis of the liver. And but it was, same song and dance. She'd go to the hospital and they'd drain her stomach, and she was a real partier, man. She was way worse than me. I mean, we were about the same. My sister and I were like twins. We weren't twins, but we were like twins. She was my older sister. She had a lot of problems growing up, ran away from home a few times. I think she was diddled when she was younger by, I think, a family member. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of things that happened with my sister, and it led her to have a life of alcoholism. She just didn't know how to turn it off. She just partied, right? But towards the end of her life, she got real skinny. She was 100 pounds, yellow with jaundice, and wheelchair. She couldn't really get around on her own. She was in a wheelchair. And I was in training camp in Houston for my fight with, I can't remember who I was fighting. It was after the Rick Dyer fight at some point, but I was getting ready to fight, and I went to a charity event in Houston, Texas, and I remember I walked into the charity event. I was wearing a suit. I was real done up or whatever, and cleaned up nice. And I walk into this charity event, and this lady from across the room spots me, and she was about 65 years old. And I remember she spots me, and she had these wild turquoise eyes. Really, you could tell she was a really beautiful. She's still pretty beautiful, but really beautiful when she was younger. She came from across the room and came right to me, and she came up to me and she said, "Hey, did you feel me say hello to you when you walked into the room?" And I was a smart ass at the time, and I was like, "What'd you do? Try to grab my ass?" And she goes, okay, that's funny, but I'm being serious here. I really want to talk to you. I feel like I have to relay a message to you." And I was like, "Okay, all right, cuckoo bird, what's the message?" I was just kind of just halfway listening to her, but not really. Anyway, she starts talking about her brother that was in when she was younger. She lost her brother to I can't remember what she lost him to, but he was in a coma for a very long time, and she does rake energy type of massages or whatever. And she was telling me about how she would go to the hospital to visit her brother, and he was unconscious, but she knew that his spirit could feel her and he could hear her, and she would give him a massage, and she would feel his life energy while she was giving him a massage. And so I was halfway listening to it, that I thought it was kind of interesting, and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. And then she goes, and then one day, she goes, the day that he passed, when I went in there, I went to give him a massage, and as I was, rubbing his legs and bending his legs and stretching his legs, I just felt this surge of energy hit me, and I dropped everything, and I looked at him, and he knocked off his breathing mask or whatever he had on his face and looked at her, and she goes, "This is the first time." She goes, "He couldn't even move his eyeballs, nothing." But right then and there, this surge of energy hit him, and he looked at me, and he knocked off the mask and said, "I'm going home." And then he just died. And she goes, "I don't know why I had to tell you that story." And I looked at her, and then all of a sudden, a text comes through my phone, like that moment. And I look at my phone, and it says, "Patrice is in the hospital, whatever, Providence, I think it was, in room 22 something." And I just said, I looked at her and I said, "Wow, I just knew right there, my sister's going to die. I just felt it." And I go, "I'll be right back. My sister's in the hospital." And then she looked at me and she goes, "Go do what you got to do." And I walked outside, and I called my sister. And I know my sister was dealing with this for a very long time. And she answered the phone, and she goes, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And she was like very weak in the voice. And I said, "Hey, I just want to tell you I love you. And I know you want to let go. And I think it's time you let go. And I'll take care of mom and dad. And just let go. It's okay." And she goes, "Are you sure?" I go, "Please let go." I go, "I know you want to let go." And I can't believe I was even saying this to her. But it's like I gave her that permission. And at that time when I was talking to her on the phone, I was, saying all this. I just felt like, okay, I'm crazy. This whole situation's crazy. I remember there's like this band playing in the background, and it was like echoing. And I just couldn't believe I was having this conversation with my sister. And I go, "Patrice, I'll take care of mom and dad." She goes, "Do you promise?" And I go, "I promise you. And let me tell you something. They're not ashamed of you." I said, "They're not ashamed of you." And I said, and some people were calling me inside because I had to like autograph gloves or something for a raffle. I go, "Patrice, I'll call you later, okay?" And she goes, "Okay." And we talked for about a good 20 minutes. And I hung up the phone, and I just thought, okay, this is crazy. I walked away, and I didn't think anything of it anymore. And as I walked to inside the charity room, or whatever, the room where the band was playing and all that, the lady came up to me and she goes, what was that? Blah, blah, blah. And I told her my sister's in the hospital, and she's had cirrhosis of the liver for a very long time, and blah, blah, blah. And she looked at me and she goes, "Okay, well, now I know why I told you that story." And I just started crying. And I was like, "No, this is crazy. I mean, this is crazy. This is nuts. Whatever. I'm just going to forget this even happened." And I went on to try to enjoy the day a little more, but it was sitting in my back of my mind. And I had to get back because I had to wake up early that morning to go run and train. And so when I went back to my hotel or motel that I was staying at, because he put me in a fucking motel, crackhead motel, by the way. I woke up the next morning and I saw that I had about 30 missed. No, I went to the gym. I went to the gym and trained. And when I got out of the gym, I checked my cell phone and I saw like 60 missed calls from my family. And I knew right there she passed. And that's how I was able to deal with it. I was able to really deal with it because I felt like I got touched on the shoulder, like God kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Say your goodbyes to her. You're gonna know first. You're gonna be able to deal with this. You're gonna make the family strong," which I did my best. And that's how I knew my sister passed away, and I knew before she went. And like the same thing kind of happened with Scott, because I knew that night that he was gonna. I was like, he's gonna go the next day. That's what I was thinking in my mind. He's gonna go tomorrow. There's a reason why this guy reached out to me for whatever reason, and I'm not gonna disclose his name, but he's a patriot himself, and I didn't get permission. I think I accidentally did before, but these type of weird things happen to me every now and then, and just like my uncle. Before my uncle went off into the forest and blew his head off, when he came to visit my family about 2 weeks before, I said, okay, this is he gave me a hug, and I just knew it was the last time I was ever going to see him. And I told everybody that it's the last time I'm going to see him. And it was the last time I was going to see him. So folks, anyway, thank you for letting me just all over. Sorry about that. I don't know. I get off on a tangent. I'm very comfortable in front of this YouTube, as you can tell, because it's not like I can't see any of you, and so it feels like I'm sitting in. It says there's 3,356 people in here, so it's not like there's an arena full of people or whatever. And I am actually a pretty good public speaker. I don't get nervous or anything. Sometimes I don't even have a script. I don't have a script at all, but I don't know. I'm very natural in front of people, but I can't see any of you, so I don't know who's flipping me off, or I don't know what's going on. But anyway, folks, 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃. I also have a Black Friday special. If you do it now, you'll get grandfathered in. The 𝗓𝗵𝗶𝗹 podcast talking about Elon Musk. He interviewed Elon Musk's nanny. He interviewed her nanny. We talk about that, what she saw of him as a child. It's pretty disturbing. Almost unbelievable, but I believe these type of things. I believe in this. I believe in the supernatural, the paranormal. I believe in God, and I still haven't been baptized yet. I'm gonna do it. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. How are my dogs? Both my dogs are gone, so I had to put them both down. They were just too old. You do not like Vivek or 𝗀𝗏𝗃? 𝗀𝗏𝗃. I spent some time with her. I don't know. She did not want to come on my podcast. I invited her to come on my podcast, and she denied it. So whatever. I really don't give a shit either way. But yeah. So see, folks, I think some of these people don't. They know that I'm not controlled, and I'm gonna ask shit that just I shoot from the hip, and a lot of people don't like that. They want you to play ball a little bit, and I don't do it. So fuck it. It is what it is. And I even like when my audience asks questions. And like I said, I leave it to you all to decide. But let me just make one thing straight. I have no handlers. I'm by myself. I do everything by myself. I have guests that I like to bring on that I like personally, and quite a few of them, because my audience also likes to hear from my guests. With that being said, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I just felt like coming on and talking with my audience and just giving some disclaimer on why, like, if you see certain interviews on 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃, don't be like, oh, he's changed. Something's going on here. It's nothing like that. I just believe in not leaving one stone unturned. And if that makes me unpopular, fuck it. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Later.